Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video we've got a few events kicking off. Obviously we still have the ongoing Deck of Fate and Soulstone thing. I did a video on that yesterday, but we've got some new stuff. So actually let's look at the tournament first of all. I literally just logged in after maintenance. Yeah, game went down for maintenance. I was like, I'll log in. Let me take a look at the champion training. Maybe I can go for this. And I log in, and this is what I see. He's got 8,000 points already. Oh my god, and these guys are pushing hard as well. I've got 9. I just logged on. This is so. I tell you what, guys, it's a great strategy. It's a really good, Zephyr, fair play. I'll give you that. Great strategy for these tournaments is to just go in so unbelievably hard at the start that you make people go log in and go, oh my god, how many points is this maniac going to do? Well, I guess just F that. I won't even bother. To be honest, I probably will bother. I'll probably blitz up to 15k and I'll call his bluff and we'll see how much he's going to do. Let's go, buddy. But we'll see. There is a 5-star mechanic. Actually, it's not quite. This kind of... I hate when they do this. I think it's just kind of garbage. Like, for players catching up, I guess maybe they do it to combat bots or something, but it's kind of garbage, right? But if you're level 1 to 50, you get a 3-star Mikage Soul. 51 to 70, 4-star. 71 to 100, a 5-star. The 5-star is more where it's at. You know what? They actually did a Titan event before, and I skipped the entire thing. They had a Titan event for Mikage's 4-star Soul. This is very different. A mythical versus a legendary. For example, Fabian. Getting Fabian's 5-star Soul, very high value. Why? Because you're very likely to use him in arena, and because he's legendary, you can save up the red essence. Where is it? Red essence, and you can purchase a 6-star soul for him, which will give him speed, which is incredibly powerful. Fabian loves that speed and having the strongest blessing possible. Now, obviously, for a mythical champion, the blessing is even more powerful. They get way more stats. You get 20 speed at 6-star, plus a bunch of blessings are OP at 6-star. By the way, I have to say this now regularly because this is my new thing. You know, we kind of picking on Trunda and calling Trunda OP. Well, you know, that's people don't care so much. I mean, it's still true, but people don't care so much anymore. Hydra's sort of forgotten about. So the new thing I've got to annoy people with is saying all of the speed being consolidated, concentrated into the 6-star blessing is absolute garbage. They should have, I don't know, give like whatever, a small bit of every stat at 6-star. The 6-star blessings themselves are typically powerful enough, but have like 5 speed at 6-star, 5 at 4-star, 5 at 2-star. Make the 2 and the 4-star more appealing. Anyway, that's what I would do, but it probably will never happen. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, it's really strong, but you cannot purchase split souls. You can't buy the little incremental upgrades for the mythicals. So yeah, a 5-star for Mikage is great. The extra accuracy makes it much easier to use her form too. And the extra cruelty, if you're using her for PvE, is great. Or the extra, I don't know what you'd run, polymorph or whatever, temporal chains. Having that stronger for her for arena, really, really strong. It's great. But yeah, it's not as insane as it is per se for a legendary, where the 6-star is now you're just one step away from the 6-star. With a mythical, you're still in the situation of being like, well, I just have to pull the 6-star from a soulstone. It doesn't matter what soul stars you've got otherwise. They may well add the ability to purchase 6-star mythical souls at some point. I could see that coming at the end of the year, at which point a good few players should definitely have Mikage. Carnage might be somewhat doable. A lot of players will have Empress by the end of the year, and heck, the new Faction Wars hard mythical might be available to a lot of players as well. I think at that point, they might consider adding in the ability to buy souls. So you could play the long game and try pick up 5-star Mikage soul by then, but then again, you might also just pull it by happenstance before then. It's hard to know. The more mythicals they add, the harder it is to get her soul, though. That is worth considering. So it is good. She does actually quite like, if you use her PvE, you can actually build her for, I've not built her for pure damage, but I've got her with a bit of damage, and she buffs increased crit damage. So she actually does a little bit. But the 4-star soul, that extra 45% crit damage is nice. And the 900 attack, she can actually do a surprising, sneaky bit of damage against bosses. It's not much, but it's small. I think having the stronger cruelty is quite good for things like Hydra and Chimera, though, where she's going to be a mainstay. All the clan bosses, it's pretty likely for 90% of more than that, 95 to 99% of players who have Mikage, she's going to be in every single one of your clan boss teams, Demon Lord, Hydra, and Chimera. Pretty likely. So yeah, it's a valuable soul, but you might have to go crazy for it. You might have to grind like absolute crazy. Anyway, that's my rant about the soul. The reward, it's very expensive. It depends what your group is like. I think if you got an easy group, you should definitely go for this. I might go for it. Yeah, you got to get 20. Oh, I didn't see that. 20,000 points to get her. That's rough. So you're investing at least 5,000 to have a chance. But then you could easily end up spending a bunch of points and then having someone go crazy. Remember, this is a tournament, so skill tomes do count. So this will also nerf your CVC potential a bit, where you could save soulstones. But yeah, there you go. Now, we also have the Shadowkin Summon Pool. I'll probably drop like the $50 on this for funsies as well, because Tetsuya is in this. I never got to test him, unfortunately, but he looks great. I mean, I was chatting to YST, and YST was saying the dude smacks. I know YST is almost definitely going to be spending. I haven't talked to him about this specifically, but I think he's almost definitely going to be spending money on this because, well, you guys know YST and Shadowkin. How does he manage to keep these hilts embedded in his... Ooh, magical hilts embedded in his cloak. His banner, I suppose. Yeah, he's very strong. Let's actually look at him in the index where we see his proper base stats. The only concern is he is a damage dealer in a faction with a lot of really good damage dealers. Toshiro, Ninja, Michinaki to an extent, Harima, definitely. Yes, Yasu is incredibly good. So, I mean, he is a damage dealer amongst a sea of damage. But speed in all battles, crit rate for Shadowkin, that's a bit underwhelming. But if you're building a Shadowkin only team, then maybe you could use it a bit. But yeah, he's got 100% turn meter steal and 2 turns of true fear. This can't be resisted or blocks at 1 Shadowkin, and you'd definitely be running him at Mikage, I think. And then he starts to scale up his damage more. He also works very well with Shuzen, one of the two. Then at 3 faction allies, it becomes an AoE against enemies with more than 50% turn meter, steals all their turn meter, and puts true fear, which is incredibly strong. His A2 is a monster nuke, double hitter, 2 extra hits if they've less than 50% turn meter, and ignores defense that's equal to their current turn meter, which is crazy. His A1 does fill everyone's turn meter, which is cool, and that combos well at Mikage. So yeah, and then he's getting turn meter when enemies take a turn, which makes him better for wave content and potentially siege and stuff like that. He makes turn meter effect stronger and weaker. He's boost up his damage whenever his turn meter is filled. Again, combos very well with Mikage or other ally attackers. With his A1, Shuzen, who's boosting turn meter, blah, blah, blah. Lots of turn meter stuff in Shadowkin. Allies immune to turn meter reduction is nice for arena stuff as well. It'd be tricky to use him in arena. He seems like a glass cannon, like very squishy, but potentially very high damage. But I think, you know, especially when you consider Mikage, he does have huge potential. Huge potential. I think he could be extremely good against every single clan boss. He could be extremely good against, actually, I'll be honest, basically every boss in the game. Probably almost every dungeon in the game. This guy should, in theory, be a freaking monster. And it's a strong faction. I think the only real downsides I can see is, number 1, he's very squishy. Number 2, obviously a pure Shadowkin team in arena is a bit tricky, but I mean, just Shuzen Yumiko, this guy, that's already a pretty darn crazy core. But then again, I think the major downside is you do compete directly with Harima and Ninja and Toshiro, already top tier damage dealers. So it's not like you're upgrading from, I don't know, like Kale to Tetsuya. For most players, it's you're upgrading from Ninja or Toshiro or Harima to Tetsuya. It might not even be an upgrade. I don't know, because I haven't got to test him. But he is potentially very strong. I feel like these ratings might be a bit low, personally. I suspect he's a bit better than that, but I don't know. I guess we will see, right? But I do think he's got potential. Other legendaries in here, good selection. Tatsu kind of bad. She might be useful for Faction Wars hard. You never know. If you need to sleep some enemies, maybe. We don't remember there's conditions for the stages, so who knows? Harima is still top tier. Totally overpowered passive and great damage dealer who can scale up her defense, keeps her relevant. So Ninja, Varl, Toshiro style scaling on her, scales up her defense to double in longer fights, which is incredible. Jintoro, I've got him. Not great. Good boss killer. He's fine. He's good for Demon Lord. He's okay. Michinaki's great. Very solid for Hydra. I think he's particularly good with if you did Lysanthire's fusion, right? This guy brings in Hex, decreased defense, decreased attack, burns, and some damage, and is a defense-based damage dealer. Lysanthire comes in, also a defense-based damage dealer, so get an increased defense for the team, winning. And Lysanthire has decreased speed and weaken, which are two of the only debuffs Michinaki feels like he doesn't have, and also works well with ally attacks. And yeah, Lysanthier is better at placing his debuffs if there's a Hex. Cue Michinaki. I think the two of them combine very well for a great core Hydra team. Lady Kimmy, niche but decent. Great speed control. Should be very strong for Siege. I think should be very strong for Faction Wars for the faction. Arashi, I'm not a huge fan of Arashi, to be honest. I tried him. I felt his damage was low. I did think he was very powerful for Arena because he's tanky. He does plenty of damage in Arena, but I felt like his damage didn't really feel good elsewhere. Kimuran actually could be very good for Faction Wars hard. Definitely one to watch. Gives you some revives. Gives you control. I think he could be very powerful. And Kyoku, I'm not a massive fan of her, but again, she might be very strong for protecting your team for Faction Wars hard. She could excel there. If you get any of these champions early game, I'd say Tatsu's kind of useless, honestly. But all of the rest could help you tremendously. Like Jintoro, also I feel like he's great champ, but not crazy useful. But he is brilliant for Demon Lord. He's one of the best Demon Lord damage dealers, so that's great. I think, I mean, there's no question. Harima would help you everywhere. She'd be the best pull in general, of course. I think people might even pull on this just for Harima, though there are a lot more options for Arena nowadays, but she's still very good. But yeah, I think they'd be the top three. If I was to give a top three, probably be Tetsuya, Harima arguably being better than him. And then perhaps Michinaki might be the three that would give you the most general overall value on a new account. But almost anyone would give you value and likely to see a power surge at Faction Wars hard. The epics, some decent ones, some not so great ones. I say Hitatsu and Taragi are the two standouts, particularly good. And yeah, the others are okay. Like Burungiri, he can solo Bommel, which is quite useful because Bommel's a pain in the butt. Wuji with good gears, decent for Hydra. She should do with a bit of a buff, at least get 100% on her debuff. Her block buffs will be, I think, pretty fair. Her base stats are very low. It's difficult to keep her alive. Good with Mikage, though. Not Mikage, with Mithrala, who can shield her up, and she's fine. But yeah, I'd say Taragi, Hitatsu, you get those early game, and it's like, bam, massive progression, such carries. And the rest are okay. I think Sachi might actually be quite good for hard mode. AoE decrease attack, decrease crit rate leech for bosses, increase attack, and turn meter boost for your team there. And a bit of a revive there, potentially. So I think she could be quite good for Faction Wars hard. The others are only okay. I'd say it's a bit of a mid-epic pool, actually. They're not the best. Kunoichi's decent as well. But yeah, the legendaries are very solid. Yeah, that's a decent one. Now, one thing about this is interesting. We jump over to the event calendar. It's now been fully populated for the week, which is exciting. The Shadowkin Summon Pool, as we can see, it ends before Champion Chase. We do have a Champion Chase tournament this weekend. It is... I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to do it. So potentially, it's probably a good idea to wait. You could just buy the crystals that you want and then wait for them to auto-summon. I think this event might end before Champion Chase. It seems that way. I guess we'll know for sure when we can see the actual timers, but it does seem a bit awkward. It seems like they don't want them to overlap. So yeah, I don't know. It might auto-summon and it might not count the points, or it might... Let me know in the comments. Some of you who are more... I usually don't bother too much with gaming the system of trying to get the summon pools to sync up at Champion Chase. Perhaps there's some way to do it. Maybe if you don't open the summon... I think one thing you could do is not open the summon pool tab, buy crystals from the limited special offers, And then when you do open the summon pool tab, then I think then it would work. That it won't have triggered or something. There can be some weird shenanigans. But yeah, this may not overlap. I'm not 100% sure if it will or it won't. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 days. I mean, it should. No, yeah. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4. And it's on still for 4 days. I think it probably still will. I think maybe the offers. I don't know. We'll see. It may or may not overlap. I would certainly wait to the end of the week. I know that this is quite a nice summon pool. People will definitely, I think, go for this one. Wait until the end of the week. Obviously, buy your offers if you're spending. But wait till the end to pull to help a bit with the champion chase. The champion chase, it is going to have Titan event points and stuff like that. I don't know. You might not give a damn about the Titan event points. There you go. I guess one sneaky thing is if you are going into this and being like, I've got a huge budget, but, you know, I'm going to stop when I get Tetsuya, or I'm going to stop when I get Harima. You obviously have to keep buying and pulling earlier. You can't wait for Champion Chase, which is a kind of a bummer because, I mean, you're already giving them, let's be real, in that situation, you're already giving Plarium a fuck ton of money. You think they would do you the decency of letting the Champion Chase overlap with it. But no. You have to pull before the Champion Chase. Because, fuck you, you're only giving us like tens, hundreds, perhaps thousands of dollars. Why would we do anything nice for you? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Anything else that's going on here? There's Gear Ascension Tournament. Which is obviously going into Sand Devil at Phantom Shogun. I've had viewers ask before, what's the best stage to do? The answer so far, they might change it, of course, but the answer so far has been stage 25 of Shogun. You definitely want to do stage 25 of either dungeon if you can, because you get the reroll stuff. So, like, if you can only do stage 20 of Shogun, but you can do stage 25 Sand Devil, do stage 25 Sand Devil. Do whichever dungeon you can do stage 25, but Shogun has given more points per energy so far. So that is generally the better one to do. So there is that, and that will give you one free pull. So that's, well, if you're mid to late game, so long as you can do Shogun stage 25, I'd say this is absolutely worth doing. You know, grab yourself some rewards. You need to farm that dungeon at some point anyway to upgrade your gear. And yeah, it's going to give you a free pull for potentially, you know, a small chance, tiny chance, but still a chance at a top tier legendaries. So you might as well. Gear enhancement. We've got Spider Tournament in there and so on. Yeah, I think nothing too exciting. We've got Fire Knight. It is going to be turn attack at the end, so that could be quite difficult. Spider Tournament with special rules. We've got Ice Golem turn attack. That's quite tricky as well. Turn attack for Ice Golem. Turn attacks, you can usually just blast them through on stage 20. Same thing with the Spider with special rules, but you'd probably be faction restrictions for that. So yeah, I'd just be doing low stages of the dungeons, and they're not too bad, but it's something to watch out for. And then Dungeon Divers at the end. So look, that's everything that is coming as part of the Titan event. Obviously, I've clocked out of the Titan event. I skipped the Summon Rush. I'm not going to be doing the Deck of Fate. I think I'm not going to do the Champion Chase. I'm probably not going to bother with this Dungeon Divers either. I don't know about the others. It depends what's going to get me some easy rewards. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to put up a poll. Let's see. Are people going to go? We'll put up a poll on the channel. Are you going for the Mikage Soul? I'm nervous to click back in and see another 8,000 points while I've been recording this video. Oh my god. You win this round, Zephyr. You win this round. Holy shit, bro. I just need to record a news video on this. He's already done the effing tour. He's finished. Wow. Zephyr, you absolute maniac. This guy went to sleep on Sunday and he was like, I'm waking up Monday morning and I've got a plan. I have a plan and boy, oh boy, am I going to execute. This guy is taking no prisoners. Holy crap. That is a man who wants his Mikage. I almost don't want to try to compete with him now because, dear Lord, he deserves it. He deserves it. I mean, like Taras over here, he's going hard at 8,000 points. You got to respect that. That's massive points. But my God, Zephyr is on another level. He's on another level. Zephyr, I hope to God you don't pull a 5-star Mikage in the next Soul event. That's all I can say and be like, why did I spend all those points? Anyway, guys, that's the stuff. That's what's happening. Let me know what you think of this week. For me, honestly, it's a pretty chill week. That's my thoughts. I'm going to chill out. I'm going to do some of these tournaments. Clearly, I can't win the champion training. Yeah, I'm not going to bother the champ training tournament. I'll survive at my 2-star Mikage. Thanks very much. Yeah, I think I'm just going to be chilling out. Chilling out, waiting for next week, where hopefully we'll have some, maybe Faction Wars Hard next week. I don't know. Maybe. Is that too soon? Is that too much to ask? I'm hoping for some exciting stuff next week. Oh, also worth mentioning, I'm imagining that the 24th is probably, looking at the layout of the fragments, I'm guessing, and it would just make sense as well. I think the 24th, the 24th day, which is the 3rd of May, I think it might be Saturday, that is going to be, when I think we get Udex Artor, so we should sync up with the Champion Chase. We should also sync up with the CVC the following Tuesday. So we obviously don't have CVC this week, but it should be next week. So you should have Udex Artor for CVC next week if you want. So either use him for the Champion Chase if you need the points, or save him for CVC, or save him for points for the next fusion. We're waiting on a big event. I could easily see that coming after this. A new event. And guess what? The event fusions, apart from Zinogre Blademaster, the first one was maybe, she's a great champion. I've seen her using Chimera, but she's not too OP. But, I mean, Mad Hatter, Thor, in my opinion, 2 of the best fusions that we've had. So, yeah, event fusions are pretty hype. So, definitely worth considering Saber that. Okay, listen, that's everything. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.